you're right. It doesn't. It just. I know, like it's like a lot of kids' hair. You know.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Talking with Friends, people. It's me, it's Eric. This is a very, very, very important live stream.
Yes.
Hurry. Hurry.
Come on.
You don't want to miss all the importance. Okay.
Exactly.
There's a lot of significance here today in this live stream because it's very, very important. And when a live stream is important, it's pretty important that people respect its importance and come and participate, importantly, with the activity of the live stream. So for the 4 or 5 people who are here, thank God you're here, because this is an important live stream. We're talking about important things this time. So if you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, complaints, queries, please make them about important things, because we're only covering important things today. Things with portent and things that are portentous, things with importing and exporting, and the other important things. Alexander Cruz, lies? Am I being punished for clickbaiting? This is hugely important. Are you suggesting this isn't very important, Alexander Cruz? It's important to me. Okay, it's very important to me. Because Rachel and I were watching last night's live stream, and I was starting to feel a little restless. So it was pretty important that I started a new live stream. Because last night's live stream, I felt it was somewhat shy in the area of importance. I mean, it was good, don't get me wrong. It is important. I'm making it important right now, Fiji Katerina. I am talking about important things, like how important the live stream is. What can I do, would you suggest, Fiji Katerina, to make this live stream more important? How can I up the importance level even more is the question. Anybody has any suggestions, has any questions about important things, please do ask them. Because I don't want to be accused of clickbaiting people. You know. It's sleepy week now, so you're getting unamphetamine Eric, which, you know, is an Eric that I have to get used to again after being on amphetamines for a while. What are the top 4 matches for relationships for ENTJs? It's important. Okay, well, Bowden Rugley, that is an important question. I would say ISFP, INFP are 2 of the most important. I'm not clickbaiting. We're talking about importance as a topic. Joel Nathan Henry. Nothing clickbaiting about that. The topic said it's an important live stream. It's a live stream about importance. It's an important live stream. Yes, I'm going to be president someday. That's important too. But that's not as important right now as this live stream. This live stream is really, you know, being important. So I don't want to be accused of clickbaiting because I am, in fact, talking about the topic. All right. So I don't want to hear any more of that. Just because you misunderstood what the title meant a little bit doesn't mean that I was clickbaiting. How do we define importance? What makes something important? That's a good question. And the thing is, one of the main areas of conflict that people have in the world, perhaps, is that bye, monkey. No. We didn't get married.
Oh, that's sweet.
Maybe we will someday.
That's sweet.
Every famous person is important, and everyone who talks to such as well. That's true, Walter Wiseman. Those are wise thoughts. But, I mean, I think the thing is people think different kinds of things are important, right? Like, people prioritize very different things in life, and it causes a lot of conflict because there's an assumption that people prioritize similar things. So Reddy Chandran's here. Hi, that's important. You're right. What are some of the differences between NTPs and NFJs? Rachel, what are some of the differences between us? You're a chick, I'm a dude.
No.
Oh, I'm a chick, you're a dude?
Wait. Oh, yeah. I mean, that is one of the differences between us.
Right.
I think you're more rational. I definitely go into the feelings a little bit more, even if I don't know what that means.
I have trouble with my feelings. They're not easy for me to deal with, really.
Sometimes I don't think enough.
I think you think plenty.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Differences. I can't.
What are some of the differences between how they handle intuition? Well, I think Rachel, even though she's an extroverted feeler and I think she's relatively comfortable in a social role here of using introverted intuition to collapse down and to make connections and to, respond to people's comments and stuff. In that regard, she's more reactive socially and responsive socially. I'm more directive or something. Like, I like being in this position where I'm blah, 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 and answer people's questions. It's very comfortable for me. I think she's more comfortable or like it's more native to her to do the back and forth. So she'll engage the other person more frequently and then respond. Whereas all blah, 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 and then I'll engage the other person a little bit, Have you been watching the new Shane Dawson series? The Shane Dawson series, Rachel?
No. I didn't even know he had a series. But now I do. Thanks.
Fiji Katarina says tone matters versus listen to my words. That is a potential difference between ENFJs and ENTPs, or NFJs and NTPs in general, except NFJs have a way of making NTPs respect tone. And it's not the case with necessarily SFJs. SFJs do not have a way of making NTPs respect tone because I don't know. It's like Rachel and I, we have very respectful conversations with each other, regardless of what we're talking about. I'm pretty careful with my tone. Like, I never have any reason to have a bad tone. And NFJ makes me be better. And SFJs, there tends to be some conflict in there. It's like, I want to make SFJs better. NFJs make me better. I think, SFJs want to make NTPs better. Whereas I think, NTPs make NFJs better. So it's like we complement each other. Whereas SFJs and NTPs are balancing each other. It's a different thing, right? Complementing each other versus balancing each other. Hi, endocrine junkie. And the question is like, what then do you need in life? If you're less developed, it seems to me you need more balancing. If you're more developed or just older, basically, you probably need more complementing. Because as you get older, you learn to attend to things that you need balance for yourself because you don't have a partner to help, So, like, Rachel's learned to apply TI in her own life, I'm sure, by herself. She's also learned to manage her own SI, even in the 7th slot. Similarly, I've had to learn to provide my own SI because, I've been single enough and not in a relationship enough that I got to take care of myself sometimes. And I've had to learn to manage my own FI too, or at least come to terms with it a bit. Rachel's an ENFJ.
Yep. Hey, sliced apples.
Why do NFJs have more success with NTPs with tone? Well, I think I answered it, but NFJs don't try to direct NTPs. They use their intuition to communicate intuitively with them in ways that NTPs can respect and sort of have to respect. It's like with NFJs, they give the NTP a chance to successfully figure it out themselves by giving them, cues and stuff. SFJs want to control the frame. and tell you about it directly. But they're not good at conveying their meanings directly very, very much in ways that are consistent with NTP's respect for NI and shit like that. Yeah, sliced apples. I know a lot of people would draw that conclusion about Rachel. I anticipated that a lot of people would say that.
What?
That you're either that you're an SFJ, you're ISFJ or ESFJ.
Oh, hell no. That S is not around.
Here's the problem with that, sliced apples. There's absolutely no SI. I mean,
yeah.
She doesn't remember 5 minutes ago, and she left. If her body's left to its own devices, she would never sleep. So
yeah,
I have to remind her to pee.
Well, I like it. It's like you suggest it, and then I like it's like a bell. Like, oh yeah, I do.
Right.
The only thing that is on my mind is the coffee. It's funny how that happens.
No, I think she has pretty good SI for SiPolar. Actually, I think she's got quite good SI for SiPolar. But you can really tell the SiPolar when you ask her to remember things from 5 minutes ago or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
if I go like, what was that thing we were talking about 5 minutes ago? She had no idea. Well, where were we going? It used to be when I was dating ISFJ, I would always get, every time we left the house, I would start driving away. She'd remember that I always forgot where I was going, and she'd say, we're going to here, after I turned and started driving a little bit to remind me where we were going. It was helpful, I guess, She doesn't remember where we're going either. She has no idea where we're going. It's like, we're in the same boat there. I got to go, where are we going? She goes, where are we going?
yeah. I'll maybe know the name of the place that we're going, but I'm not getting you there. I don't remember the streets or anything. I don't even remember their names.
But I mean, the thing is, it's like when we went to the supermarket and we walked through, and then like after we got to the car, like 10 minutes later, this was a test I did of her SI, and I asked her to remember things about that walk, and she just didn't remember the details or the experience at all.
Yeah. I just remember like the shape of the aisle, the stacks, and like the direction that I had to turn in order to face where the non-alcoholic beer is. So I guess is it more based on a feeling? A visual too, I guess.
Yeah, it's like what you got is the bare minimum of the visual impressions for the utility of the store. Like she didn't remember there was a Starbucks between there. She didn't remember that the wine was between there. Mm-hmm. She didn't remember, like, she didn't even remember the experiential aspects of it at all. She had this sort of constructed metaphysical understanding of the store, but not a memory of her experience in the store, really.
Yeah. Probably trolling, but yeah, this possibility to be NE is to be bored. Is that true? To be NE is to be bored?
Kinda. Yeah, that's a good, well said. Whoever said it, I like that.
That was Faye.
I would say it's least true for ESFJ. I'd say that's least true for them.
Yeah, you're right.
They know how to SI comfort themselves well. They get off on watching Real Housewives or whatever. Okay. Here you go, beautiful.
Thanks, handsome. Aw, it's true, Instance Mom. And thank you for the water and liquids advice so I don't get kidney stones.
Yeah, Instance Mom, thank you in general for your care as well. I appreciate you periodically reminding me to drink water and stuff. And you reminded me to be prepared in case of mass shootings. I haven't had to use that one yet, but I do appreciate it.
Yeah. Jean Grey says, nice legs, Eric. You need to wear a skirt.
You know, I used to wear a skirt, but I had too many guys trying to look at my skirt, so I started wearing boxers instead. You know?
Smart.
Yeah.
Eric, please consider modeling from Jake Forrest.
Oh, I'm modeling for you, Jake. I'm modeling this brand of boxer. It's Gold Toe brand boxers. You can look this good.
The PPs following him. Aww. Thanks, Winston's mom.
What a beautiful kid.
I use Trudy's description for any tool. Sliced apples, sorry. Just her look. She's an SINE type. I don't see any NISE or FETI. Like, come on. Where do you see that? You have to ask Eric. I thought it was ENTP for the longest time. I don't know if this matters, but when I was thinking about my history with MBTI, I was taking it when I was bored, because when I was bored, I was like sober because I was like in a program. So I had to be sober, and I was taking all these quizzes, and MBTI was one of them. And I sort of felt like I answered things differently because I wasn't actually in my natural state of being, which is not sober.
I mean, the problem with those questions is they're all self-reporting anyway. So,
yeah, they are.
You know, it's like, are you going to portray yourself as a creative, any style person? Well, yeah, because you are. I mean, you're a type 7. You like to play, and you like to play in the metaphysical realm.
Yeah.
So the test is going to go, well, that sounds like an ENFP. That's why you got to test actual processes.
Yeah.
Like, you are clearly not FI. You are FE. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's true.
So, I mean, anybody who thinks she's FI is nuts. But additionally, she's not an S because there's this cool, like, beta alpha difference between us that I really value a lot. Where we talk to each other very well, and we're both very metaphysical in our talking.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's not like talking to another NTP at all, because she's using NI instead of NE. It's really complimentary.
Yeah.
We both want to tell, we both understand that telling stories is important, and what stories we're telling about each other in the relationship is important.
It's funny that you say that. I was just going to say how I really like using NI for like kids stories and stuff, and like short stories that I write.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think that's part of it.
Yeah, totally. And I have a bit of an NI fetish. You know, it's like, for, in all media making things, I prioritize NI, not NE. NE is this constantly churning thing that's pushing out this goo. But my job, as I've come to understand it, media making wise, is to pull out the NI chunks from the goo and to leave the goo behind. So it's not like we run counter to each other in our media making goals and ideas at all, really.
No.
What I meant about telling stories was telling stories about the relationship and telling stories about our relationship to each other, to people on the channel, whatever. By telling those stories and defining how we are with each other, who we are to each other, and stuff like that, that's a very gratifying relationship for me that you don't get with an SFJ. You just don't get that kind of, let's work together to tell stories about who and how we are. No.
Especially if it has to do with like psychology or anything metaphysical.
Well, like ESFJs, they're antipolar. It doesn't matter what stories you tell, it doesn't really impact them. And ISFJs, they want to tell the stories, but their stories are all experiential. And when the truth violates their experience, they have problems with that. Any tool people have stronger NE than any DOMs? No, I think they have tool NE, which means they overuse it. They don't know. It's less nuanced. They don't know when not to use it. Same with me and TI. Oh, Proteus, you talking about Rachel? She doesn't display the drive of betas like at all. What's the drive of betas? I mean, you got to remember, Rachel's a type 7, and an Enneagram type plays some role in that.
I even so like I didn't know what certain like characteristics of ENFJs were until you did the Megan Lavoda typing, and she actually like we said basic like some of the words word for word. Like I answered the same way that she did. And she answered the same way that I did on some of the questions. It was pretty remarkable, actually.
Yeah.
I was very surprised. But yeah, I am a 7. So me and Megan Lavoda talk differently. Our mannerisms are different, even energy level, because our Enneagram is different.
Christy says, I think I'm a 2 and use FE more than you. Plausible. Well, Christy, I do think it's plausible you're 2, but I think you underestimate the amount I use FE, frankly. Betas do often have a sort of domineering vibe. Rachel doesn't have that much of that vibe, but you got to remember the circumstances too. It's like when you talk about alpha and beta the other way, like alpha and beta males, I'm a pretty alpha male, you know, and she's got her vibe. That's just her natural vibe, which is not. I mean, her dominance is hidden. It's not absent.
Yeah, it is. It's. I don't. Yes.
Yeah, well, Megan does.
She does.
She does win the eyebrow prize. I gotta concede that. Megan's great.
Yeah, she's great.
But and nobody I'd rather date than Rachel.
Aw.
It's true.
Thanks.
I would never want to be with anybody but Rachel. She's spectacular.
Oh. Interesting.
I mean, that's the thing, Winston's mom. That's why we have these things as skills tests. You got to remember that the defining quality of an SFJ is SI and FE, right? That's what defines them. It's the absence of SI in her that makes her necessarily an ENFJ. Because, I mean, I guess she could be an INFJ, except the SiPolar is too polar.
I enjoy going out too. Like, my grandma was definitely an I, and she had the appearance of having friends, and she had, like, in the neighborhood, she had friends that she was very close with, but everyone else she was like, I don't want to bother with. And I do like socializing. Like, I like going to karaoke, and I like to go for coffee with friends. I like going to sports events.
Baseball game. Yeah, like, it's pretty clear that Rachel is more into going to baseball games than I am. You know, it's like that kind of shit. That's very SE third slot. I mean, SFJs might like her to go to baseball games too, sure. But
thank you, Chris.
Jake Forrest, thank you very much for that. Jake Forrest says, yeah, super happy with Eric and Rachel's dynamic. Thanks, guys, for getting together.
Yeah.
Even though I was scared initially, but I was being hypocritical because I confessed to my last ex 1 week after meeting. You confessed to her? What did you confess?
Wait, what?
I don't think she means confess. I don't think he means confessed. Oh, confessed love. Oh, well, yeah. You know, the thing is, Jake, it was perfect. It's perfectly reasonable for everybody to have lots of doubts. Yeah, good for me. Exactly, Jean Grey. That was good for me. Liking watching sports, I think, is SE. I think, you know, 5th slot SE and ISFJs, they like to do that. 6th slot FE 6-slot SE for ESFJs. It's demonstrative. They'll go to sporting events because it's an FE thing and they want to be with their husbands and whatever, and they'll just sort of learn to like it.
Yeah.
I think Rachel's experience with it is different than that. I think she enjoys the SE, just the raw SE of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I really do enjoy the game. There's something about it for me.
She was also a trooper. She didn't complain about the walking at all. Dodger Stadium, is it a walk or what?
I mean,
that's a hike.
Yeah, I was at the end being like, how many more? But it was the last one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So it's like, that sort of thing. I'm aware that I know already Dodger Stadium involves a lot of hiking, and I'm aware that I know what it is to go there. And I like watching baseball on TV sometimes, but it's for me 8-slot SE. What that does is it's only interesting to me when it serves my extrovert intuition. So one of the things that it was kind of interesting about going to the game for me was I wanted to take pictures with Rachel at the stadium. I wanted to do the social media stuff. I wanted to take little video clips. In other words, I wanted to let my innie play with it.
Which is cool. I think we should do that.
Yeah, and I didn't do it quite as much as I wanted to because it was actually a little more interesting than I expected. I enjoyed being there with Rachel. We enjoyed the hot dogs and the peanuts.
So good.
We had pleasant people around us. There weren't like asswipes around us. Sometimes you get asswipes around you,
Yeah, it was very pleasant. But it's true. Yeah, you were there more for the experience and sharing the experience. And it's like a part of living.
Right. And following through on what I said I was going to do and us having, all that stuff,
Yeah. And then for me, I genuinely like the sport. I think it's exciting.
Good luck with that sushi, Jake Forrest.
Yeah. Good luck with it.
Oh, try the spicy tuna.
I like spicy tuna.
Mm-hmm. FI types don't give a shit about that. It's FE. Yeah, I would agree. That's FE sort of thing. I'm glad you have someone close by to share your memories. Yeah, it's mostly, that's the weird thing. Neither of us is SI very strong. It's not so much about, you could be acidic. That's fine. Joel Nathan Henry. It's like, it's important that we make things together. My memories are my creations more than anything else. I remember by replaying videos. I remember by looking at stuff that I did before on media. I don't remember with my brain really very much. There are a few things I remember that stick in my head that I revisit. Thank you, the judge. Thank you.
Aww.
Frankly, I did a shitty job of getting out of it, but finally I did get out of it. So good job, I guess, there. Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it. To the extent that everybody was saying that that bitch crazy, that she's a sociopath and all that kind of stuff. Well, maybe you had a point. Frank came to the channel designed for YouTube creators. It's a good channel, practical advice. LJ is on there. I don't know if Megan or I was there. Okay, well, see, this is the thing people don't understand. I not that I wouldn't necessarily benefit from some practical advice. I'm sure I would. But the problem isn't a failure to understand how I could optimally manifest this channel better, right? It's a failure of SE to do the legwork to follow through on doing it. It's like my SE at that point no longer is serving my NE, it's serving my TE, and SETE is boring as fuck for me. So, the thing is, if I'm allowed to and allow myself to just play with this channel, I know the type police is hugely successful. We need to do it. If I allow myself to just play, then I keep making videos and having a good time. When I start to try to force myself to do shit I don't really feel like doing, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily come out that good. But I will do more type police. We will. I need a couple of days to sort of sleep my ass off. Networking's good. Yeah, see, that sounds like such Winston's mom.
You may not need
So much
the
tea.
channel for advice, but networking is good. I will get some information together or people together and design a basic equipment list and wish list, then crowdfund.
I mean, all that's a great idea, Winston's mom. But it's like, I don't know. What do I? It's like this shit I gotta do that. You know, NTJs are always giving me good advice, and it's great advice. And it also requires me to do stuff I don't want to do.
He did blow up very fast. He wasn't. I'm trying to think of a video that Frank James made that like was kind of the beginning of the start of something big. I think since he started the I mean he gained recognition for really publishing content about the rarest type INFJs, and I think honestly some of his like pictures are a little creepy, so I don't know. He attracted people, and then I think he's real about his story and what works for him. And INFJs do have that like counselor vibe. He could be an INFP. I don't know. I don't know anything.
About Frank James?
Yeah.
He's an INFJ.
Yeah, like I think like he gained popularity based on the fact that he was really talking about INFJs, and then I think really him doing the skits of the 16 personalities really jumpstart. Plus, he just, I don't know, he puts himself out there. He did, I think a lot of MBTI channels are blowing up. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's handsome, but like I think once he got that haircut too, it's so interesting. I don't know. Yeah. Jean Grey. I'm INTP. Spaces video and other stuff help me seeing it now or accepting. That's great. Spacey's videos on explaining intro to you know, MBTI, socionics, the cognitive functions. I think that's really smart. He's doing a great job of breaking everything down into terms that people understand.
Yeah. In general, I think that the channel benefits if he and I both make more basic cognitive function videos to explain things, you know.
Yeah.
I probably will maybe make a couple a day or something. It's one of those things where there's so many things to do. There's so much fun to have, you know.
There really is.
And I understand that being serious about the channel is an important thing to do as well. It's like, but see, I am serious about it, and I'm also not very traditionally outcome oriented, I guess. The thing is, this has got to be the slowest growing channel in YouTube history. I have got more videos than I have subscribers, probably, or around the same number. There's no disputing that there's a lot of potential energy that needs to be unleashed from this channel that's not been unleashed yet. There's a lot of things I could do to better unleash it. The visuals help, like you say. This is not an attractive background. You know, we've got but we're in the process of cleaning up in here, and that's one of the things we got to do. You know, I got to help with my mom. Then we want to go play. We want to, I don't know, go out to get some food or do whatever.
Yeah, we got pie last night.
Yeah, we went and got pie last night, pie and coffee. It was nice. We went to a restaurant. What would this community be when you had 100,000 subs? Maybe lose its vibe. Sure, I guess. It's 2P. Everything is 2P. Yeah, I agree with you. It needs more NI. I had the cheesecake, their sort of cheesecake thing that they make, and she had chocolate pudding pie. It wasn't really. It was chocolate cream pie, but it tasted like chocolate pudding.
Yeah, it was good.
I have an ISFP problem. She's, to be honest, insane, and the more I try to get rid of her, the more she latches on. That's what Rachel is for. What is Rachel for? Oh, making it more NI. We'll get there. You're gonna have to give us some time. The thing is, we do have a lot of little things we're doing, and
I'm not worried.
I'm not worried either.
I am an ENFJ.
How to get rid of ISFPs? That sounds like a nasty video, Alexandra. I try not to do nasty videos anymore. And see, this is the thing. I was ready for Rachel when she arrived, in the sense that I'm no longer the combative and FI dismissive person I once was, and I respect her modalities, and it's because of cognitive functions. Really, it's like before cognitive functions, there are aspects of magical thinking and stuff that have been derisively dismissive of, and would have tried to tell her like that's stupid or something like that. Now I embrace those things. I enjoy having differing modalities complementing my own and respect them. That seems more SE to me. Tell them what to do and they'll leave you alone. Oh, try to fix her, Alexandra. Begin every conversation with, here's what's wrong with you. Just criticize.
Whoa.
She's trying to break up you and your boyfriend so you can be with her. Well, is she a scissor? Don't be rude, but tell them how they should live their life. Yeah. Treat them like you are their father and they'll leave you alone.
Hmm.
Which type is least interested in MBTI? I'd say ESFJs and ESTJs and SiPolar. I don't think you should try connecting learning types to MBTI. There's still not a lot that's not known about learning styles. Well, I'll tell you this. I'm going to work at 2:00 today with my debate clients. I've got a ENTP kid and his ISTP sister. And boy, they are textbook examples of themselves.
Mm.
She can't come up with ideas for shit. She can't come up with any ideas at all, ever, period. He is so fucking all over the place, and his NI ignoring is such a problem that all I have him do nowadays is practice collapsing the things down into NI holes because he doesn't know how to do it. Debate taught me how to do that, I realized, because in debate you have to go, all right, remember, Judge, there were 4 elements of this block. We're talking about demoralization, demotivation, and ontological violence. These are the reasons these impacts are important. This is what it means on the flow. This is why you must vote for me now, Judge, because I have one framework, I have won these conditions, I've established the impacts, I win this round. It's called crystallization. Basically what it is turn all your NE blah-de-blahs into shit people can consume. And so that's what he has to practice more than anything else. She has no problem with that. She can't not do that. She can't expound on shit and just sort of ramble. So as a teacher, obviously, it's hugely important deficits. If you got a TI polar person and you're trying to make them learn TI shit, you're banging your head against the wall for no reason at all. They're never going to learn it. No, look, Veggie Katarina, what you're talking about is SI. Practicing something and getting good at it over time, if it's everything, is SI. And it's one of those things that's kind of a base level SI that even SI polar people have. Just like FI polar people have FI. Rachel gets better with practice and likes to practice. What's interesting is INTPs hate to practice. They absolutely hate it. They're SI third, but they hate to practice. So it's an odd phenomenon. SI fourth, I'm okay with practicing. I don't love it, but I'm okay with it, SI polar, she's totally down with practicing. But practice, SI is how we get shit down with practice. I can easily work out your TI questions with paper and pencil. I cannot process your questions and think extra and considering. Well, that's because your TI is backside. So it's not how you process language naturally.
I wanted to ask, so as I've looked back on times where I've had to practice for like a recital or like a play that I was in or like a chorus thing, I would practice and I enjoy practicing, but I'd be a little bit clumsy with practicing. And then I find out when it comes to the time of actually like doing it, then I'm like right on. But when I'm practicing it, I love practicing it because I get memorization and stuff. But while I'm practicing it, I'm kind of like clumsy to the point where like some people have even been like, is she going to be able to do it? And then I like am once I'm in the situation. Does it have to do with being?
I mean, a lot of people don't really practice like they play. I mean, that's why practice is different than playing. You're working shit out. It's naturally going to look, if you're practicing well, you're practicing on the parts that you need practice on. And so that means you're going to be constantly displaying fucking up, which is fine. I mean, that's the process of NESI. The thing is, the stronger the NE, the more the inclination is to attack something without any preparation.
Oh.
And so it's actually maximally realized in INTP and INFP with the tool function NE because they have the least nuanced, most over the top kind of extroverted intuition. NE DOMs, we learn to determine when things need some prep, but we're the same way in the sense that I'm sure Chris D says faking it also works often. For NE DOMs, for sure. Faking it works often. Any tool function as well, faking it works often. Because remember, when an INTP sits down to fake it, what that means is just they're going to reveal all this TI they've done about it. And that's legit. It just is. So faking it works pretty well. If I were asked to teach a class on any subject really, even though I didn't understand the subject, that Q is so successful, right? She didn't say a goddamn thing. She didn't say anything, but I knew she wanted longer. Was that right? Yeah. She just looked at the bong.
But
That's how intuitives talk to each other. It makes life so easy because an SFJ is likely to say something like, "Hey, why are you being so inconsiderate? Why don't you give me a bong rip?"
the bathroom.
And then all of a sudden we have some sort of conflict. How does Rachel deal with that? She just looks at the bong. And I remember, oh shit. How much better is that? She understands she can communicate with me in ways that are subtle and respectful and effective. It's hugely important. So yeah, with an any DOM versus any tool always wants to do no prep. I mean, it's going to freestyle shit because that's what any is. It's freestyling. And if that's your tool function, you think, well, everything ought to be subject to freestyling. So you get really good at it. Like Spacey learns my songs, which are hard to sing and are hard to learn, have complicated melody lines. He learns them almost instantly. It's amazing. Rachel takes a million practices to learn them, which is fine. I have no problem with that. I try it more because even though he's got it down, it's not exactly how I want it, maybe. He hates it's like pulling teeth. He hates it. He hates practicing. Once he feels like he's got it down well enough, then he's just going to change it every time because of any tool function. No sensor, no. It's I see Spacey going through similar troubles that I went through with my ex, who is also an ISFJ. I see him dealing with the ISFJ's experiential frame, and how they really want that shit predominant, and when NI comes in conflict with it, there's a problem. I think I like learning while doing, not before. Just let me try. Right. Well, Christy, like, don't tell me how to do it. Let me just play with it and figure it out. Right. But it's dumb of us. It's really dumb of us. We benefit a great deal. Yes, we're less good than we imagine. We do benefit a great deal from hearing some instruction first. Yeah, Feiji Katarina, that sounds like any tool, How does Spacey support himself to the work, go to school, win the lottery regularly, just gigolo? Well, I have an arrangement with him right now where he's getting most of the revenue from, he's getting all the revenue from any of the typings and other services we provide and stuff. And he's staying at a 30-day B&B right now, Airbnb, and he'll probably have to do that again for a month. I mean, the thing is, we're not generating enough revenue. No, Tori's not mad at me. I think Tori's, if anything, chagrined. So Christy says, I was in East Berlin once as a schoolgirl. It was scary to us, this topic. That was around 1980. So yeah, it's like I'm probably going to have to make up the difference for them to get ran again this upcoming month. But it's, we got first world problems right now. This will come together fine. We just need to, do the legwork and stuff. It's difficult to get things all flowing properly right now because there's these transitions, you know. It's like now I got Rachel here and there's a lot of shit on my plate here in terms of getting everything set up to be self-sustaining. I don't think there really is a tug of war for control. I think that Tori imagined there was one for a stretch, but she has been disabused of that illusion. So, did you get another cup by any chance when you went in there?
Another cup?
Yeah, we seem to only have one mug out here. I don't know why.
Huh.
Two cups. Yeah, Winston's mom. There's a lot of 2 cups flying around here. Interesting thing is he's really stressed out and bearing the metaphysical burden of this trouble. Jean Grey. Rachel, Jean Grey is requesting a tarot card. Can you
sure.
hand me the cards or pull one for her? Where did he put them? Here comes Papa. Hi, Dad. Figured out why it wouldn't start. Was it the key?
Huh?
Was it the key?
No, I wasn't pushing the clutch in.
Oh.
See, in mine, you push the brake before you start. Now, apparently in the stick shift, and I didn't remember, I have to push the clutch in. And I finally figured that out.
Oh, well, I'm glad to know that the problem is now understood and resolved.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right. Shane and I are going to go out a little bit, and actually, I can tell you where we're going. We're going to go buy pumpkins.
Oh, cool.
Aww.
Yeah.
Are we going to make jack-o'-lanterns?
Probably not. We usually just. I'm not going to carve it, and
Rachel and I will make a jack-o'-lantern with Mom. Okay.
Well, we'll buy you a pumpkin as well. Was the whole idea too.
All right, cool.
Unless you want to buy your own pumpkin.
Well, would you like us to go with you to the pumpkin place? I mean, we can get dressed.
If you can come as you are, but stay in the car, right? You know?
We can get dressed.
If you want to come with us, that would be just fine.
Okay, where is the pumpkin place?
No, we're just going to the store.
Are you just going to the store or to Vaughn's?
Do you want to go to? Okay, why don't Jane and I just go?
All right, cool.
We'll, unless you want to go, Rachel, particularly. Why don't you guys go buy pumpkin?
Yeah, okay. We'll go buy our own pumpkin.
Yeah.
Sure.
We were going to buy one for you, but heck, you get to choose. And if you're going to carve.
All right, we'll go get a pumpkin. You guys get yourself a pumpkin. And
what we usually do is just set it out front. Now, the Lila carved last year's pumpkin. And we had the candle and the whole 9 yards in it.
Oh,
but I'm trying to avoid being here on Thanksgiving.
Halloween.
Halloween.
Okay. Well, we can still have a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah. I haven't worked that out yet. But, okay.
Okay.
So.
Well, have fun at the store. I work at 2:00. Rachel and I are here to help anytime, except for when I'm gone for work.
2 to what?
2 to 4:30. I'll be back by 5. I'm at 4:30. She said 2 to 4 or 4:30. She's not sure yet.
You guys are on your own for dinner tonight.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, I mean, you're free to use what's in the fridge and everything, but you know.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Dad.
I'm not going to make anything particular, just stuff tonight.
Okay.
Okay. That's it then.
Okay. See you soon.
Thanks.
So that was 2:30. Are you
I work
working here or?
No, I have to go up to Pasadena again.
Well, that's right, Sunday.
So I leave here about 1:40, and I come back around either 4:30 or 5.
Okay.
But Rachel will be here if you need any help.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, one other issue here. Now this, the books.
Oh, I'll put those in the garage.
Okay, these are the same pile, and
Yeah.
that is not a whole bunch, huh?
Those are saves too. Those ones need to go. That's the only books that are left.
So these are savers.
Those are saves. No, these are for us to keep here. We're not gonna give those to the thrift store because they're old and valuable looking. These ones we're gonna pull down and send to whatever you want to do with them.
Well, it looks pretty nice in here now.
Yeah, we're gonna finish cleaning up today. We'll get it. We'll get these pom poms out and those seats out and put them in another container. And yeah.
If you look at Takayama up there, that was the guy, the Hawaiian, that was the sumo wrestler champion. It was one of Julie and Brian's favorite.
Oh.
That's how we got that. All right, Jane and I will be off, and okay.
All right, we'll see you soon, Dad. Have a good time.
Take care.
You want me to take this to the garage? You're done with this box?
Yeah, but I can carry it if you want.
Okay.
I'll get it. Oh, Pete's in the backyard. Dad doesn't like it when the peacock comes into the backyard.
Why?
Because he poops back here.
Oh.
I mean, I've interviewed him before. He does like being interviewed. I will interview him again. Thank you for reminding me. He enjoys it a lot. Pete is the peacock that comes in the backyard. My dad doesn't want him in the backyard because he poops back here. And he's this peacock who lives in the front yard usually. And every time we come out, he comes running over because we give him food. We'll give him crackers. We'll give him... Oh, yeah. Rachel's still looking for the cards. We can't find them. Let's see. Where could we possibly have put them? Tarot cards. Where have you gone? Tarot cards.
So weird.
The mysterious disappearing tarot card.
Oh, got him.
You found them?
Yeah, they were hiding behind the pom-pom.
Do you see the problem with pom-poms now? You're starting to understand?
This was separate from the rest of them.
Is this Eileen's card?
Ooh, yeah.
Eileen, you got a pretty good card today. You got this one. Ascension, completion, judgment, zenith, 20. Okay, so basically, that's you blowing the horn, and all these naked people are crawling out of the ground to come to you. So, basically, when you call today out into the world, naked people answer. That's the message, okay?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, so anybody else want a card before we put them away? Not that we're really putting them anywhere in particular, but anybody else want a card? We are waiting to see if we have any takers for the Wisdom of the Tarot. Yeah, dogs also keep peacocks away, but we don't have any dogs. And my cat is not going. Endocrine Junkie wants a card. Endocrine Junkie, the tarot will unveil for you the following mystical realities. You got, nice. You got the Knight of Cups, lover. Oh, yeah. Are you a dude or a chick, Endocrine Junkie? Let me tell you. Romantic. artistic, Cancer, Scorpion, Pisces, Knight of Cups, Lover. Today's the day you get your hump on, endocrine junkie. That one cute girl who kind of smiles at you. Go, hey girl, you know what card I pulled today? Knight of Cups. You know what that means. And she'll be like, yeah, I do. And then you'll be like, hump, hump, hump. Okay, so congratulations, endocrine junkie. What is love? Asked Vaughn Chase. Well, I would say that love is that the aspects of love that can be meaningfully described or explained are behavioral, which is to say, love and emotion for somebody who's SiPolar anyway. So yeah.
Here's our whiteboard.
A whiteboard?
Yeah, the one we want to put across.
Okay.
So it's all out here.
Okay, we can do that when you get back.
When you have time, we can work on it.
All right, yeah, let's do it when you get back.
I will do that. Winston's mom, I love that idea. To have like a shelf.
That's good.
Yeah.
So Bruce Wayne. We have been talking about so many important things just because you just arrived and you missed all the huge conversation we had about importance and important things doesn't mean this live stream is not important. Okay. It instructed you to hurry. You failed to do so.
Ooh.
So you missed the importance. Okay. That's your fault, not mine. So I said, hurry. Jeez. Okay. So anybody else want a card from the mystical deck of tarot? When we pull a tarot card for you, what does it do? It provides, as Rachel says, guidance. It's the frame through which you should approach the day. Yesterday for me was a day of temperance, and we should good moderation. We went out for pie and coffee instead of driving all the way to Chino Hills.
And the pie and coffee was spontaneous. That was not,
Right. Spontaneous, indeed.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of wild living. Proteus wants one. Proteus, let's find out what the tarot has to say for you today. Ooh, same card. Ascension. You got the same card as Jean Grey. Today is a day when you attain the realization of some grand scheme of yours. And you finally, having written the last page of your novel or whatever, blow your horn. And all of the literary critics rise from the ground naked to give you money. Looks like someone needs to take a bath.
They're actually in water. They're in tombs.
They're entombed in water.
And maybe they do need to take a bath.
Interesting. Anyway, all the people are looking up at you is the thing. So why? Because the vision that you are spewing out of your horn is so appealing. Love has no words. What is love? Love, to a certain extent, is the behavioral aspects of love, which is to say, to treat each other lovingly, to want the other person's initiated engagements to be received with positive, equal kind of engagement, to want to prevent harm, to avoid criticism, to celebrate the good and forgive the bad. It's like those sort of elements of behavior are implicit to love, I think.
This is for Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne?
Yeah. Hey, Ann.
Well, today is a day of reunion for you because you got the Six of Cups. It's a happy day. And you know what? You know what's really the thing to note about happiness, Bruce Wayne? It's really, really important to be happy. Today's an important day for you. It's an important, happy day for you. It's a day of reunion. Maybe you're going to meet an old lover, an old friend. somebody you've not seen for a while. Maybe you're going to go see the Joker. That's possible. That could be a reunion with the DC universe.
Mm-hmm. Makes you feel like a child.
Makes you happy. It's sweet. It's children. Okay, well, it's not really children, but
it could be spending time around children.
You know, if you go see that movie, that's a children's. It began as a children's cartoon, right? You know.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's evolved into something a little darker, maybe, but
it could still give you that
resonance with childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there you go. That's for you, Bruce Wayne. Okay, it's rated R for lots of fun. I'll let you know if it happens. Okay, thanks. Remember, it's a frame of guidance for you, as much as it is a prediction. The tarot speaks, Bruce Wayne. And when the tarot speaks, smart people listen. Yeah. Anybody else want a tarot card?
One.
R for wonderful. Ann C says, hello, everyone. Hello, Ann C.
Hello.
Bond Chase wants a card. Bond Chase, let's find out what the day has in store for you. It's an important Saturday. We're going to find out what the tarot has to say. The tarot speaks. King of Pentacles. You are rocking your tycoon nature today. Living large. And your enterprising labors come to fruition in the form of money. That's right. Monetary success, enterprising financier, patient tycoon. The key thing here is patient, right? Don't try to force it. Wait for the game to come to you. If you try to force it, you'll do poorly. But if you take what the game gives you, you're going to achieve King of Pentacles status. That's pretty good. That's better than the Queen of Pentacles or the Jack of Pentacles.
It is.
Okay, so Vaughn, that's your card for the day. Okay. For me, it's when I give the other bigger piece of cake. The bigger piece of cake. That's love for sure. I'm out. I have work left. BYBO. Bring your own body odor.
Bye, Chris.
What does BYBO mean?
I don't know.
Does anybody know what BYBO means? Well, Nancy, would you like a card? Elon Musk wants to nuke Mars. Why not?
We're going past.
What's the purpose of? We're going past, Nancy. Okay, let's see what your past card is. Bibo. Jung thought tarot was a path to individuation. What's individuation exactly?
Yeah. Bring your brother only?
Bring your best origami. Bring your best origami. That's what it means. Self-realization, wholeness, something like that. Well,
Cool.
I agree that, any sort of, I guess, intuitive work with symbols is going to make an intuitive, like Jung, feel as though that's a good path to actualization. Is it a good path to actualization for sensors? I don't know. Maybe.
I think they warm up to it. With my sister, she had to warm up to it, and then, but I will say she started out with other things first, like auras and that stuff, a little bit more mainstream.
I would say the sensors are more likely to be into like crystals and pyramids and physical objects that do shit.
Mm-hmm. But I was pulling something for someone.
Well, you were going to do an ANC past card.
Oh.
ANC past. ANC, your past is one constrained by rules and regulations. You got the justice, retribution, contract, decree, deed, law, reckoning, fair. You got this card. So the stress you've been experiencing has likely been related to your having to play the role of the judge or the tough guy, the bad cop or whatever, the one who has to enforce the rules. And that probably has stressed you out in the past. But that's over now. That's the past.
Yeah.
Okay, Jean Grey wants her past card. And I believe Rowan Morgan, let's do her first. She wants an obstacle card.
Okay.
Obstacle card. Oh, you had to help somebody with a birthday party or something, huh? And see, that does sound like you needed to be the arbiter of justice. Julie hit me.
Yeah.
Go sit in the corner, Julie. Yeah, sure. All right, so this is Rowan Morgan's obstacle card. Well, you got this one, which is the 4 of rods: happiness, home, move, cohabitate, harmony. So since this is your obstacle card, I would suggest that it's telling you there's some matter of disharmony that you need to return to a state of equilibrium of harmony in order to overcome this obstacle. There's a potential conflict with somebody who's going to be unnecessarily in your way, and you're going to have to find a way to return that to harmony rather than simply bowling them over. So if your normal approach would be to like bulldog the person into submission, that's not going to work in this instance. You're going to have to harmonize with them.
Yeah.
That's why they call me tarot reader to the stars.
For famous people.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome, Rowan Morgan.
Yeah, and I was thinking too for the 4 of rods as well. It could be like maybe you're going to some social events today, like gatherings, and it might, you're gonna have to use that harmony, which Eric was talking
You
about.
have to use the old FE.
Uh-huh.
Might not feel like it. You might be feeling like, fuck you, but you have to be like, well, different strokes for different folks. Okay. According to Jung, it is individuation that is the central process of human development. Okay, individuation, actualization, optimization, whatever you want to call it. I like the idea of optimization rather than individuation or actualization, because optimization, unlike what Jung's trying to imply there, doesn't suggest there's a state of attainment that can be reached. And I don't think there is. I don't think there's a single state of attainment that one reaches that now one is enlightened or actualized or individuated or realized or whatever. I think one functions at varying degrees of optimality. I don't know. I think duality works when you have, I think duality is like, it's there to balance people out. When you're in a stage of your life where you need balancing, it's fine. But there are plenty of people who may need not balancing, but complementary stuff. Like, I don't need to balance out my weak spots, really. I need to complement my strong spots. And that's what this relationship affords me that duality didn't. Rachel, pull my last card, says Jean Grey. Which one is this card for, Jean Grey? What's the...
Past, I think?
Is this past or what? I really think this is past. Okay. I really think, Hambone, that it has to do with the stage of development. And if you're with your dual young, I think you have an opportunity to make something very special out of a duality relationship. If it's like your first partner or something, and you stick with them your whole life, I think that would work probably. Mm-hmm. But once people get enough particularism in them, so the only true best MBTI relationship is polygamy. Well, better that than polyamory.
What's the difference?
Polygamy is one dude, many wives. Polyamory is a mishmash of people. Were you always into tarot? No, I'm not into tarot really. I get the concept of it, so I know how to do readings. It's easy. You just start saying shit, I don't know anything about it really. She just introduced me to it. I didn't really think anything about it before Rachel at all. Is this for? Oh yeah, this is for Jean Grey.
Yeah. Oh,
Your past, right? Your past was romantic. Love her. That's your past. Artistic. You're moving into a post-romantic phase, I suppose, at the moment. Those ESFJ sleuths had a lot of particulars by now. I mean, that's true of all women, Hambone. You know, you just gotta deal with that reality as a dude, right? I didn't memorize any card meanings, Bruce Wayne. What are you talking about? I just read the thing on the cards and say some shit. I don't know anything about tarot. I don't know anything about it at all. But that's the truth that we men have to deal with. Unless you're an absolute puss slaying machine, the chick's always gonna have had more partners than you. You know, by a lot, by a large margin. And it's something that, as a dude, can be ontologically challenging to deal with, because you know that she's got a large pool of comparatives to compare against, right? And you know, you hope you match up well against the mean, I guess. And you have no idea really. If she's a good woman, she certainly doesn't let you know if you don't match up. So, you know, it's stressful. But if both people are very loving to each other, then you realize it's just a meaning-based issue. It's not a reality-based issue. It's exclusively meaning-based. Now, exclusively meaning-based issues cause me plenty of problems in life. I don't need there to be a physical link for something to cause me problems. But I learned a lot in my last relationship about that very issue, because it was the case with my last partner for sure. And I dealt with it poorly at first, and thought I could reframe that reality in ways that were more palpable to me. But I really couldn't. You can't reframe that reality in ways that are more palpable to you. You just have to let that reality go and accept that's just the way of the world. Remember that whoever you're with is choosing to be with you to the exclusion of everybody else. And if she's a chick, she always has other options. Now, I'm in an interesting place in my life where now I've got lots of options. So in that regard, that aspect of shit isn't troubling like it maybe it used to would have been. Like knowing that the chick can always go get another dude, but it's hard for you to get a chick. That's a different reality than, you know, well, if she does go get another dude, I'm not gonna have any problems. You know, that's a helpful reality in the sense that there's that sort of power inequality dynamic isn't present in my relationship anymore. Or hasn't been, you know. But regardless, dealing with a woman's sexual history as a relationship partner is very dangerous ground. I would avoid the topic as much as possible entirely. I certainly wouldn't make any effort to explore into her past and ask questions about it or anything. That's always a bad idea. So, you know, that's how it is. Fenty Deluxe, I love you too. I know, she does look beautiful. I was struck by it all the time, Winston's mom. It's like, you know, right. It is good advice, and thinking about it will make you sick for sure, and make you feel bad, and for no reason. And the thing is, you got to remember, you either choose to allow your fear to dictate your reality, or you don't. And that's just it. Scaled with attractiveness. All right. If you want to think about all those power dynamics, you can create the reality you're imagining too, very easily. If you start thinking, basically, I'm not good enough for her, then you will become not good enough for her eventually if you keep thinking it often enough. And the opposite's true as well. If you don't have any worries about it, you're good enough for her and you don't ever have any doubts at all, she'll never have any doubts. But there's a middle ground that's probably the best place, which is if you do have some doubts, allow that vulnerability to come through. But remember, it's your vulnerability and your problem. And you're asking her to take on a little bit of the burden by hearing you talk about it a bit. Certainly don't try to put any of that onto her. How do any users slay the puss versus SE users? We don't. We're not interested in slaying the puss. I mean, I'm interested in slaying the puss within my relationship, for sure. Like, that's the whole point of having a relationship, is so I can be freed up to slay the puss, basically. If I'm forced to engage with people like dating style, contemporarily sleeping with a number of different people in succession or whatever, I won't enjoy that. I'll always be like, okay, well, time for some more half-assed, not very fun sex while I wait till I get comfortable with a person. Mm. It doesn't give me any gratification, really. For me, as an indie user, I know I really enjoy sex in a relationship once I get comfortable with a person and trust them completely and feel relaxed and feel genuinely loved by them and stuff like that. I never got to that point in my last relationship. I never did. She made it impossible because she was downright abusive. But this relationship has been eye-opening. It's like, it feels like we're actively celebrating each other all the time, whether sexually or otherwise. A slot FI serve first slot TI. It makes sense to me for A slot SI serving first slot NI. I don't see the utility in first slot TI referring to subjective FI stuff to tighten their TI view. Well, it's not to tighten their TI view, it's to check to make sure that their TI view is not too tight. TI is there to tell them what's communicably defensible, but sometimes what they genuinely want isn't communicably defensible, and they ought to factor that in. So basically, their FI comes into play to say this is a spot where you shouldn't use TI. Just like my SE comes into play to say this is a spot where you shouldn't use NE. If you want to maximize your NE, you need to use SE now. For you, it's the same thing. If you want to maximize your TI, you need to make sure it's about something you genuinely care about sometimes. What happened in the last 45 minutes?
We drew some cards.
All kinds of important stuff.
Your dad came in.
Yeah, super important stuff. You get to see interaction with my dad.
I've been thinking about Halloween costumes. When I was in New York, I was thinking about being the Statue of Liberty. That's because I had like a teal sheet that I was going to use for it. And then I was like, oh, it'd be fun to be Jean Grey from X-Men, but I'm not. Yeah, those are just ideas. Other than that, I haven't. Do.
Interesting question. What if someone betrays you? Are you forgiving or not? No, I'm not forgiving. I mean, it depends on the scope of the betrayal, obviously. If it's a willful betrayal, it kind of almost doesn't really matter about the scope. It's going to do irrevocable damage. Certainly I would never forgive cheating or stuff that makes you not trust the other person. If they betray you, like Kimberly used to talk shit about me to people, like when I wasn't around and on the phone and stuff, and I'd overhear her sometimes, and it's like that should have been enough of a reason to break up with her right there. If she's telling like false, slanderous, negative stories about me to third parties, that's betrayal. You know, we're supposed to be on my team. Rachel would never do that. I don't have any concern about that. Rachel would never start talking shit about me to some third party. I would never do the same to her, you know. And people say, well, you talk shit about Kimberly. I mean, I vented a lot, you know. I vented a lot on the internet about how difficult things were. And I complain about things to complain about that were just like, this can't possibly be acceptable. So Hitler, I don't think so. I actually think TI tools more like, I think these are the most likely to be friends with dictators. Like Dennis Rodman, for example, hanging out with Kim Jong-un.
What is he?
I really do. I think Dennis Rodman's an ENTP, but he might be an ESTP. I don't know. I think he's like a not very intellectual ENTP.
Yeah, it could be.
Like his whole like getting dressed up in a wedding stuff, ESTP-ish.
No.
Okay, well, this seems like about the right time to end this video. I think we need to get cleaned up, start the day. You're hungry, huh? Okay. See, again, I could tell by her body language she was ready to end the stream. So I just realized, oh yeah, time to end the stream. And when she does this perfectly, in most contexts, the other person's not aware they've been influenced thusly.
Yeah.
So what makes it great to be with me probably is I both appreciate being influenced thusly, and I'm also aware of it.
It's great.
So likewise, Rachel, it's fantastic being with you. And I'll talk to you all later as Rachel needs to be fed and cleaned up for the day.